Phil, well done. It's been a very good week so far.
When you talk about weeks in your career, have I ever done what I've just done? Not that often, to tell you the truth. You get 3 games, 3 wins, 3 clean sheets. I know people say that's a sign that you're doing something right. I know that, but we're building something, and the foundations were probably put in place, or with the work put in place in the 6 weeks in pre-season, which I always talk about. I think it's a real strong foundation if you get buy-in from everybody. But some of the players that are playing for us now at this moment in time weren't with us in pre-season. But everybody took the message on board, and everybody understood the message, and it was all about standards. It was all about the players driving them standards, and being professional means to me that you do the right thing even when nobody's watching, and they're important messages to be sending out. And I think the group of seniors, I always say that if you've got a good group of senior players, you'll have a good group of junior players. The younger players can only benefit from good seniors, and when you've got good example setters, like sort of Mari Morgan Smith and Ashley Evans, that goes without saying. But further down the line, the food chain, the goal scorers always get the plaudits, but down the food chain, you're talking about people like Caleb Richards, flies under the radar so much, but the standard that he sets at the football club is outstanding. Christian Dibble, from a different perspective, goalkeepers don't quite often get the plaudits that they deserve. But I think as a person, knowing his father, I think there's a great man there, and I think the examples that the young men are getting from our changing room are second to none, and they can only grow from that, But the bigger picture itself is to try and win something. That's as simple as it gets. And it's not just about winning a game of football, it's about building momentum and winning games that you least expect it to, or winning games that the people least expect you to. Curzon Ashton 1-0 away was just a great, you could even say, turning point, even though we're in the middle of an unbeaten run. Curzon Ashton was probably a turning point, or the turning point. If we look back at the end of the season on a hopefully a successful season, I would have said, yeah, that was a big moment. But then compounding that with a 1-0 victory against Farsley Celtic, people won't even look at that one because they'll expect us to win that one. But it was a tough game.
Yeah, I was going to say, in some ways, the last 3 games have been contrasting. You go to Curzon and get a great result there, that gives everybody a lift. Fair to say the last 2 probably had to grind one out a bit against Farsley, had to be patient. Then you won South Shields game with a bit of flair, 3 up at half time.
There was a lot of a lot of things to like about Tuesday night. The fact that we're at Agbra and we had to compound a home victory, albeit it was a stuttering home victory against Farsley Celtic 1-0. But it was getting back to winning ways in Agbra, and that was the key. That was the most important. And the fact that it was just under 2,000, I think that was a telltale sign to me that the supporters are getting frustrated with the home form, which is understandable. I get that. But the ones that missed it, if the word's not got back to them that they missed a damn good game and more importantly a damn good performance, and they need to make sure that they've got the bums on their seats in the next game, well, lo and behold, the next game is the ex-managers in town against Halesowen, which is a derby match. If I've ever heard, I looked at the map, I went, my word, what is it, less than 5 miles away. So it's a derby game, and they've sold over 1,000 tickets. I think it bodes well for a great day, hopefully at Agbra. But we've got to carry that home form now into the FA Trophy and make sure that we have that clean sheet mentality if we can. But more importantly, the flair that we showed on Tuesday night, that needs to be on show again.
You mentioned the clean sheet mentality. Well, clearly that's in place at the moment. You haven't conceded in the last 3, certainly.
Again, you could say training ground routines. I think there's a lot to like about the way the defenders want to defend. When you say a defender's got number 5 on his back, does he want to hit the ball? That's what I want to know. Does he want to get his body in the way of a shot? Does he want to put his body on the line? Does he want to block a shot or block a tackle or whatever? They're the key factors about wearing a number 5 or a number 6 or a number 2 or a number 3. And I know that's the old squad numbers when I was a player, and they don't readily wear them numbers, but you know a defender when you see one. You know a proper defender when you see one. Cam Candler has been with us for a number of months now, and I'm delighted for the lad. He's burst into the ranks on the back of a couple of injuries, and them injuries as a manager, I was ruining the fact that we'd lost Paul Downing, I was ruining the fact that we'd lost Alex Penny, and lo and behold, Rhys McNally, Cam Candela and Caleb Richards step up to the plate in a different change, a change of formation, but stepped up to the plate is the most important part. When somebody's asking you to do that, you do it to the best of your ability. Them three in particular, my word, you talk about 100% commitment, you got it in abundance with them three. And that's the reason why we're getting clean sheets. The wing backs, it goes to, without saying that they've got to defend and attack. And, I'm not going to for 1 minute throw Joe Fawkes and Rhys Devine under the bus saying that they don't do enough. My word, they're doing more than enough. So as a back three, as a back five, piece together the jigsaw, the midfield two, and then the work rate of the front three. If we can culminate all of that collectively on any one given day, we'll give any team a go for a run for their money. More importantly, Halesowen on Saturday.
How much emphasis are you placing on the trophy?
As much as I need to. If somebody said to me, you're going to get to Wembley, I'm not going to give you the trophy, but you're going to get to Wembley, so you're in the final, and to compromise that, you're not going to get promoted. Sorry, that's not for me. Promotion is paramount, paramount importance. Getting promoted, however we get promoted, whether that be through the playoffs or whether that be automatic promotion, as you know, is a challenge to everybody in this league, and everybody's fighting for it. And you'd be in the top 6 or 7 now, you wouldn't have a clue who it's going to be at the end of the season. 5-6 weeks ago we were 13th in the division, we're now 2nd. Does that mean to say we're going to get promoted automatically? No. You win nothing in November. But at the same time, you do win cup games, and you go along with them cup games, and it breeds confidence, and some players that are sitting in the background at the moment that are not getting a sniff or not getting a look in, might get a look in tomorrow. On Saturday. But at the same time, I could be showing my teeth here by saying I'm going to play the strongest team that's available to me. And then if you get an injury like a Luke Summerfield in a cup competition, breaks his leg, and you don't have him for the league, then you regret them days. So listen, you are what you are, and however strong we will be on Saturday, the whole game will revolve about our attitude, not about who's playing. It'll be the mentality and the attitude to beat Halesowen, who will be coming here to make it a damn difficult game. And I know if Russ Penn's anything to go by, he'll not be making it comfortable by any stretch of the imagination. Big crowd turning up, he'll be wanting to put a spanner in the works from a club that he used to manage.
Players, of course, can get injured any time, and players thought they get injured in training, so presumably you can't pick your side around that.
No, you can't pick a side around who's going to get injured and who's not going to get injured, but you are going to pick a side around a team that's in good form. Both sides are boasting decent form in the last 8-10 games. So for me, I think it's going to be a really interesting game. I loved what Russ was doing here when he was here. Having watched him and Jimmy work on the Thursday and the Friday before the first game that I got involved with, albeit from the bench, or from the stand, shall I say. They had something going at the football club, and no doubt in my mind it was the reason why Richard Lane hung on to the two of them, because he looked like he had two managers that were going to go a long way in the game. And who's to say they won't? I think they've got something going in Halesowen. And with that in mind, we've got to put a spanner in their works. It's all about winning the game on Saturday. That's all there is to it. Regardless of how many Halesowen fans turn up, or how many of Kidderminster Harriers fans turn up. But it'll be a big day, hopefully, for whoever wins that. And fingers crossed, hopefully it's us.
I appreciate it and absolutely take on board what you're saying about the league being the top priority. But clubs at this level, North and South, and even the level below, have had a good record in the trophy in recent years. And maybe some of the National League teams don't take it that seriously if they've got half an eye on the Football League.
I think the FA, when I said to you about has the cup competition got FA attached to it, this one has, and it just shows you the level of strength and depth, I think, of football in England, full stop. FA Trophy, FA Vars, FA Cup itself, there's all sorts of great competitions, but culminating at Wembley, that's for me is a massive carrot for a dangle in front of any club at any level. Because guarantee you're going to get a big crowd when you do get there. But it's a case of let's piece together the jigsaw first. You know, it's early round, early stages. I don't know how many legs we need to go, or how many games we need to win for to get to there, to the end of it. But I believe it's penalties, no extra time. So it's decided on Saturday. I hope it's not penalties. I hope it's a case of, you know, the best team wins. And hopefully that best team is the home side.
You mentioned your longer term absentees there. I appreciate I ask you this question most weeks, but Alex Penny, Luke Summerfield, Paul Downing, any news there?
Yeah, Paul's got a chance of playing some part in the game on Saturday, which would be great news for us long term. Adding another defender there, I think we've been playing with 3 or 4 defenders, and that's all we've had going on the field of play. So getting an injury to any one of them 2, 3, 4 defenders was going to put a real heavy burden on the rest of the team, certainly the goalkeeper. So Paul Downing will play some part in the game on Saturday. Alex Penny is still, we're awaiting, I think tomorrow is the 4-week period where we're just leaving him to rest and recuperate without any kind of exercise. Hopefully that pieces together the back problem that Alex has got, and we'll go after him on Monday and start his rehabilitation. Surgeons and doctors and physicians, all the top people have said it's going to be 10 weeks. So we're still talking about 6 weeks from now, which is not so clever news, but at the same time, we haven't had some great news with regards to injuries, if truth be known. I've just spoke with Luke Summerfield. He's had his cast reduced from a full-length leg cast to a half-length, or a half leg, and it's below his kneecap now. That can start some form of rehabilitation, whether that be bike work, whether that be upper body, whether that be thigh work. There's lots of things to think how positive that is, certainly from Luke's situation, from his point of view. But he's just desperate to get involved again. He's coming on Saturday, fingers crossed he'll be in the same car with Dibbs and Amari Morgan-Smith, so he'll be coming in talking all things football with them 2 guys for a couple of hours, and then comes into the change room. And it was the difference between Luke Summerfield, the last time we saw him, when he's in a full cast and he can hardly stand up, was, you know, he was doing a presentation for, I think, Zach Brown and Ashley Hemmings last time he was here, for 150 and 200 games or something like that, and he could hardly stand up, and I really felt for the lad, you know. But anyway, he's on the road to recovery. That's the main part, and we've got to look at the end line, the end product. Where's the end of the road? And the end of the road will be hopefully when he's playing at Kitty and Agbra, hopefully before the end of the season, and maybe in a winning team, and maybe in a team that's going to get somewhere.